Okay, welcome everybody. This is the Aviom A320 personal mixer that you plug your stuff into so you can hear your in-ears. I'm going to go over the functionality of this and hopefully it'll help you mix better. The first thing is this center knob is a volume, and it also can be other things like treble, bass, enhance, or even a pan knob for like stereo placement. But you normally want it on what's called channel volume, which is this one here. It'll have a green light lit up. And what that allows you to do is you can choose any channel along here, and you can see the label: drums, bass, electric, acoustic, keys. These are extras. Then your vocalists all the way up to 8. And then we put reverb on the last one, just to make it not so dry for the singers, and it sounds actually a lot better. So anyway, let's get into how you would set up a mix. Let's just say I am a vocalist and I have mic number 5. I would start right there. I would push that button and then come to the center dial with channel volume pushed. So that's lit up. So now I know that this is the volume knob for that. So I would cut this up, and you can see the red light up top coming up. So I would set it to where I sound pretty good. And then I would set this. Usually up higher is better. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, somewhere in there gives you good room. And that'll give you good room on your packs as well, those that have the wireless units. You really want to push the volume to you on that, and then sounds a little better when you push it. Okay, so that's my vocal. Now, what do you really want to hear to sing well? I know you need the keys. The keys are one of the crucial things. So I would hit keys, and while he's playing, I'll bring him up, and you're up here somewhere, so he might just be tucked just underneath you, somewhere in there. Okay? And then what do you need to build a mix after that? I know I need to hear keys so my pitch is good. I'll start building the band next. And the band, I'll build drums, and I'll just bring it up just a little bit. And it might be down in this area. Okay? Bass the same way. Just, so I can barely hear it. All these will get louder the more you add to it. Electric guitar, the same thing. Acoustic guitar, it's going to be down in this range, just so you hear it. The band should be playing while you set it, by the way. Then we set our keys, our second keys, maybe up a little bit in case he jumps up there. And then I would set my other vocalist. Now they'll be just under you. And there's 3 up about like that. I'll click 4. It's up. 5, I'm set. See how I'm up a couple. 6, let's just say we have a bunch of singers. 7. And I would start with that, and then reverb, I can just listen and see how much reverb that I want or don't want. Okay? Now that we have a mix going on, there's some things that we can do to enhance it or EQ it, in other words. So what I would probably do as a vocalist is I will come over here and hit this button here, which toggles between enhance, treble, and bass. I would probably go to treble, and you can see if it's green, that means you're not cutting the treble down or cutting it up. It's just normal, okay? And so I might cut the treble up maybe a couple of notches because I want to hear the vocalist better. So that's in the treble range. Or I might go and push this button again to light up bass. And see, it's green, so I'm not doing anything. I'm not cutting it up or I'm not cutting it down. I might cut it down just a little bit, just so the vocals can punch out. All right, let's talk about, you know what treble and bass is, I forgot to mention enhance. Enhance is another effect, kind of like reverb, but usually it's for vocalists, and it gives a little sizzle. It'll make things sizzle a little bit. Just play with it, crank it all the way up to hear what it does, then cut it off to hear what it does. And you might want to just add a little bit of enhancement to the overall thing. Now, let's say I've gone through this, and there's some things that I can do to make, others stand out. I could put those that are on my right, I could, like Vox 2, I might hit stereo placement and pan them to the right a little bit. Now I'm hearing whoever's on my right to my right. So it'll be in that right ear just a little bit more. Okay? Same with 3's probably to my right, and 4's not so much to the right. They're right next to me.
Make sure you select stereo placement each time you click on it.
Oh, very good. Did you see what happened there? When I clicked here, stereo placement, and we're in the middle, and I wanted to pan it right a little bit, when I click the next one, it automatically goes back to channel volume. So when I'm doing stereo placement, I've got to go back and click it. So when it defaults to another one, it's going to default back to volume every time. So you really have to punch that. Good catch. And when I punch the next one, I was changing the volume actually, so I can bring that back down and then pan right. Okay? So pay attention to that, the green. Now reverb is over here. Reverb, I really have a philosophy of what a monitor mix is supposed to be, and I really don't like reverb on the monitor mix. But we did it just because you're in ears and we don't have a live mic in the room, so this helps it not be so dry. Hopefully we can change that when we improve some things. But the other thing that's cool too is once you have a mix, you can hit this solo button up here, and you see it's blinking green up here. I can then hit the drums, and while the solo button is hit, I can just listen to the drums without cutting everybody else down, okay? Then I can hear the bass, the electric, so I can go through and set them individually, just hearing them and not everybody else. Then you can click off the solo and see how the mix is. So if you ever just want to hear yourself and, just hit the solo button and hit your channel and see how you sound, okay? And then you can click the solo button off. When I have this all set and nice and I like the mix, I want to save it. So there's a button here called Recall Mix. In small letters you see hold to save. So if I hold this down, and you have these first 8, see that group of 8? You have 8 different save positions. So I can hold this down, and I can hit 1 and see it blink, and then goes away. Let's try it again. I'm going to hold it, and while holding it, I hit 1 through 8. You see it blink, and it goes away. That means it has recorded that mix. Now, if I go into song number 2, and somebody else is the lead and not me, and I really need to hear them, I could go in and cut that up for the next song. I can then hold and save it to number 2. All right? And now it's saved to number 2. So all I have to do during the service is I can hit recall 1, and that's my first saved mix. If we go to the next song, I can hit recall 2. Boom. All of them changed to that second song and how you liked it. You can have 8 different mixes on here per Sunday. And I would challenge you to do that. When you go through a song and you set up the mix, save that song in order that they are in the service. And you might even make a note in your music that this song is saved on number 3, or this song is saved on number 2. And all you have to do is hit recall 2. Boom. And that mix comes right back from practice, okay? Just know that the monitor mix that you're getting is for you to hear yourself. If you're a singer, you want to hear yourself because you want to know if you're on pitch. It's not there to have a mixed CD that's going to sound like a studio recording. It's there for you to be on pitch. It's there for you to hear yourself, not have this great mix. So that's what your number one goal is. So just know that the best mix that needs to happen is for the audience, and that's, the guy in the back's got to make that happen. For you, you need to be able to hear yourself and to make it as good as you can. So that's kind of my philosophy on, what a monitor mix is. But have fun mixing.